Hello everybody, what we'll look at now is how to create design briefs. We've touched on this before in a previous video explaining about the design process leading up to a design brief, but this one will be a design brief based on my example portfolio here that I've been doing. Let's just revise a little bit. I started off with this context, which of course is an example context. It's different to the ones that you have for your projects. So sustainable living was the context. I then produced my mind map, thinking of various areas, potential problems to do with sustainable living. And then I had these four sort of major things that I might want to look at. Then I explored the context a bit more visually, single-use plastics, 6Rs. I came up with a couple of people that could be people to focus my project on, and in the end I chose Laura. I then interviewed Laura, and she spoke to me about how toothbrushes are something which annoy her, because once a toothbrush is no good as a toothbrush anymore, all the bristles have gone wonky. What do you do with it? You have to throw it away. You can't recycle it. So that would sort of implanted into my brain something which this is something I could work on for Laura to make her life a little bit more sustainable. So before this interview, I wasn't thinking about toothbrushes at all. You can have a look back here. Doesn't mention toothbrushes at all. I suppose the toothbrushes would fit in this branch here, the disposables. They're sort of long-term disposable, but you do have to dispose of them when you're finished. So it looks like I'm going to be looking at a redesign for a toothbrush. Over here, decided on some things that I might want to find out, and I'll be doing that later on. And then I did my photo report. So I at Laura's house, which of course is my house, I had a look at the situation she's in. She actually has these bamboo toothbrushes, which much more biodegradable, much better in terms of being thrown away. But especially on this one here, you can see they go a little bit sort of damp, and a little bit sort of they look a bit, they look more mucky than a normal toothbrush. We also saw that she's got loads and loads and loads of these toothbrushes, some of which she reuses, but what do we do with them? Eventually they're going to be thrown away. Miss Stillnut has given me some feedback here, so she's suggested some things I might want to find out, some extra sort of real life research to do. How does Laura store her bamboo toothbrushes? And Miss Dillner is absolutely right. This is the problem. They're stored in sort of a pot. That pot gets a little bit of water and stuff at the bottom, and it seeps into the bottom of the toothbrush there. Could this be an area you look into to encourage drying? And that is a really good point. So that has now sort of altered my thinking a little bit. I'm going to keep it as a side idea at the moment, but it's going to influence my next piece of work. She's also got lots of research and things that I could potentially do here. So coming on to writing design brief. So I'm going to add in a text box, and there we go. So text box, design brief. This is what I want to do. I want to state a number of different things. I'm going to state the problem, and I'm going to state who the user is to begin with. So this is coming out of my brain right now. Okay, so I'm imagining this and writing it down straight away. So standard plastic toothbrushes are particularly non-sustainable. They are difficult to recycle and are generally thrown into landfill. Alternatives like bamboo toothbrushes are better sustainability wise, but as they are biodegradable, but they suffer from slight hygiene issues. That's my problem stated. So Laura started off with plastic toothbrushes. In terms of sustainability, they're terrible because you can't recycle them, you have to throw them away. She's tried to upgrade to these bamboo toothbrushes, and they are better sustainability because when they do go wrong, they don't have an impact on the environment when they're thrown away. But in actual use, they're not quite as good. Okay. What I will do now is I will have a look at the thing that could solve this problem. So I've stated the problem. What I'm not going to do though is be specific. I need to remain open-minded, open-ended. If I say I will design a toothbrush which is 200 millimeters long, is made from ABS plastic, and is has removable brush heads that can be thrown away with no sustainability penalty, that's too specific. It's sort of it's constraining my thinking for the next few stages, for the design stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this quite vague. I'm going to say I will design and prototype. We need to mention really. The product that you make doesn't have to be a production standard product. It can be something which experiments. Maybe it's a bit rough around the edges, but as long as it's attempting to, or as long as it's testable, as long as it can be tried out and see if it works or not. My thoughts for this project is I have a sort of a vague idea of which direction I'm going to go in my head, but my thoughts for this project is the thing that I actually make will probably not work very well. And that's, in terms of the GCSE, is not a problem, because as long as I say it hasn't worked very well because of this, and this reasons, that's fine. You might have heard of someone called Dyson, who is a designer of Hoovers. That's entirely wrong. He doesn't design Hoovers, he designs vacuums. But he has designed thousands and thousands of vacuums until he got to one that worked. So we're not expecting, or we're not insisting, that the thing you design and make has to work. And it's not a problem if it doesn't work. I'm expecting this not to work. I will design and prototype I'm going to say ultra sustainable toothbrush. That an ultra sustainable toothbrush that enhances the sustainability of a standard plastic toothbrush whilst retaining the hygienic qualities of a standard plastic toothbrush. The performance of the toothbrush, so now I'm talking about the function, should match that of a standard plastic Okay, so there is my design brief under there. In this part, I've stated the problem. I've said this is the issue. My primary user, Laura, has a little bit of an issue with her toothbrushes. She doesn't like using plastic ones because they're not sustainable. The bamboo ones she uses are much more sustainable but not good in other ways. So I am going to design a prototype, one which hopefully is the best sustainable toothbrush in the world. Am I confident that I can do that? I'm confident I can give it a go. And we'll see what I end up with at the end. So that is a design brief. Open-ended is the key. Don't constrain yourself from the start of the project, if you like. Now what I'll do is I will share that with Miss Dilnut. And she can read it and suggest some ways to go forward. All right, thanks.